Kind of like how Abraham Lincoln looks like what root beer tastes like. You can't explain it, but it fucking makes sense, bro.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal comedy podcast where we talk about all things spooky. I'm Taylor.
I'm Nick.
And we have a very fun episode today, going to our little town right across the street, a little bit, across the river, down the street, across the river. Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
Fucking love Shepherdstown.
Yeah? What's your favorite part about Shepherdstown?
All of it.
What a shit answer.
There's so many things to like. Shout out to the Lost Dog for any of our locals out there that are familiar with Shepherdstown.
That's the coffee shop, right?
It's the coffee shop, and that dude is so cool.
That's the one where he had the Mexican hot chocolate one, right?
Yeah, still has it. Still has it.
So good.
And he has this. Well, I don't think he has it anymore. I think it was called like the chocolate gorilla or the chocolate peanut butter gorilla or something like that. It was a freaking like a 18-ounce. Like a big ass cup of coffee with a whole banana cut up in there, whipped cream, chocolate sauce, baby peanut butter sauce. And he would like take his time making it. He would always like say like, this isn't like a, walk around. This is a sit down drink. Like,
right. You gotta sit down and you
gotta enjoy this shit. And I think he took it off the menu, but man, that was like it was so fucking good.
I just got diabetes listening to you describe it.
Yeah. So anytime I go there, I settle for something, I guess, which is
something subpar.
Which really, there's not really much on the menu that is subpar because it's all delicious.
Right.
I thought what you were talking about, the Mexican hot chocolate. I get this. He has another one where it's like this like spicy pepper. So it's like a coffee. It might be a mocha kind of infused chocolate coffee, but he pours chili pepper oil in it. Oh my god! You wouldn't think.
I know it's a random thing, and I wouldn't suggest getting this on like a hot summer day.
No, fall drink.
Yeah, it's definitely a fall or a winter drink because that should have warmed you up. But it's very well balanced. Sometimes you get stuff that's just too much one thing and not enough of the other. That hot chili oil and that just the right amount. So good.
So then after you get your drink from the Lost Dog, literally you walk next door to the fairy store. The Creative Procrastinations. That place is fucking awesome.
Did you call it the fairy store?
That's what it's called. Like
it's called the fairy store.
The store's called Creative Procrastinations, but like on the window they have like written onto the fairy store. Okay. But you walk in there and there's like, it gives you some really cool cryptid spooky vibes. They have, like your typical Bigfoot, memorabilia in there. There's like H.P. Lovecraft in there. There's a bunch of Harry Potter shit in there.
I feel like I went in there with you guys, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like that nerdy.
They had
store.
like the Mothman like search squad patch or something.
The patches in there and stuff like that. It's just a great time. You walk in there.
Shepherdstown in general is a great time to just walk around.
I love Shepherdstown.
It's been a while since we've been. I go back.
We were there not too long ago.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
I think we went to the farmer's market. And then afterwards, after we explore Shepherdstown, we can head over to Potomac Ridge at the brewery right there.
It's so good.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Have a very nice outdoor seating area.
Yeah.
So good.
Played cornhole. We were there like 2 weeks ago for...
I was there one time and they had a jazz band playing.
Yeah.
And that jazz band kicked ass.
Yeah. Lots of live music. There's just so many cool. And then what you could do is you could stay at the cabins in Sharpsburg. Right there.
You mean the Bavarian Inn? That's right across the.
Well, that's in Shepherdstown,
right?
So when you're driving to Shepherdstown, how you go through Sharpsburg? Mm-hmm. In Sharpsburg, right there, there's a farm right off like the main square, and they have cabins, like 5 cabins. Brittany and I stayed at one. It was really nice. So, we stayed there the night. We went to Potomac Ridge, got some beers, Next day we went to Shepherdstown, I believe. Got some coffee at the Lost Dog. Just walked around Shepherdstown. Oh God, I fucking love Shepherdstown.
That sounds like a perfect fall day.
It was. We had our bikes, rode our bikes out there. It was nice.
That sounds lovely. Speaking of fall days, this weather has me feeling some kind of fall way. And like not in a great way either, because it's just been cold and rainy. And it's the middle of June. And it's like, we need to be summertime vibing right now.
It's time for a pool out there that I can't use.
Right I know. I'm still waiting to put mine up. It's pissing me off. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready for slasher summer. Like, that's what I'm ready for. I'm ready for 80s slasher summer.
Is that like the new Halloween and summer?
That's Summerween.
Summerween.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get my Summerween on.
Gotcha. Summerween with your Halloween. How
dare you?
Like Halloween, but with the penis.
Yeah, that's
for our listeners out there. I'm talking about Halloween.
Are you hollowing out a penis
with an anthropomorphic penis? Are you hollowing it? I don't think so.
Or is it just nothing inside it? Did it come pre-hollowed?
I don't know. There's a book.
Oh, of course there is.
I think it's called Halloween. It's a smut book.
All right.
And on the cover, there's this like jack-o'-lantern. I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the deets are, but I do know there's this Halloween creature that jizzes gummy bears.
Sure you don't, Nick. Sure you don't know.
No, I mean, I added to my list of books that I'm going to read or listen to. And
imagine you just rolling up to the job site, listening to Halloween, and your coworkers just hear, and then he jizzed gummy bears all over.
Just like nuts, like gummy bears, like everywhere. Oh God, my Jolly Ranchers! Like, it's like such a like double standard, though. If you think about it, like imagine, and because this is like a thing, like people can read smut on like buses and stuff like that.
Well, you ever notice the smut books always have like covers that don't look like smut books?
They don't. You would know. You would know.
Like, oh, that person's reading like a fantasy novel or like not a erotic fantasy novel.
Oh no, it's like and then
dragons and wizards and shit.
The demon lord grabbed his throat or his hands.
Grabbed his throat for sure.
Yeah, grabbed his
giant girthy staff and wielded it upon the maiden.
Yeah, just crazy.
Henceforth, she was known as the one bow-legged girl that walked around town.
There's like flowers and shit on the cover. You would never know. You would never know.
Like what was that fucking book series? It's like huge. Oh,
not game. I know what you're.
Thorn and Roses.
Yeah,
Court of Thorn and Roses. That's it.
That one.
I for the longest time did not know that was smut.
I didn't know until
I thought it was just like it was like fucking Game of Thrones or something.
So I'm like walking around Target. So like reverse the roles. Imagine you're walking around Target and you just see like a shelf full of like Pornhub. But that'd be fucking weird, right?
Yeah,
imagine like like a man sitting on a bus, and you look over and he's just watching Pornhub.
Do you think it's like equivalent to like back in the day going to the store to buy a Playboy, and like you had to take the Playboy to the counter, and the person behind the counter is like, I know what you're doing with this. Like you think that they buy like the Court of Thorn and Roses, and the cashier's like, got yourself a little fantasy there.
I feel like it's kind of like all the women know what it is, because I had no idea until Brittany pointed out, and they kind of like wink at each other like, oh yeah, I know what you're, and then there's like this unspoken secret code
that they both have. The cashier's already read it, and she's like, oh yeah.
Or if it's like the sequel.
Right.
And like they both have read the first one and they're like, oh man, like.
And with the rise of self-checkouts, I guess the awkwardness is no longer really as prevalent.
Yeah. Could you imagine like 15 years, like when having to buy condoms? Completely awful.
I mean, just the classic like sitcoms where like the dad has to go buy tampons for his girl, like his daughter or something.
It's not as embarrassing.
You'd think so, but like the movies and TV shows always made it seem like, oh, this is the most embarrassing thing a man can do is to buy tampons.
I felt always more embarrassed buying condoms than I did buying tampons for Brittany.
I would agree.
That's just because I was like normal. I just like that's like expected. Speaking of this motherfucker, she fucking sent me to Target one. She sent me to Target one time to pick up a mobile order. I had no idea what it was. And like, so I go to the table, the checkout or whatever. I'm like, yeah, here, a mobile order for Nick. And she walks away.
I imagine it's like the Austin Powers scene one penis pump.
basically, she fucking comes back with like a thing of fucking Astroglide and a fucking cucumber. It's like, and it took me like a second to register like what was happening, because like the poor lady, her face was just like appalled. She just like, and I'm like, what? And I look in the bag, and it took me like 3.8 seconds to register like what's happening. And I was like, motherfucker.
Okay, well the question needs to be asked: why was Brittany buying Astroglide?
No, it was a prank. She was like, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
She was like, go to the store and pick this. I thought it was like groceries or some shit.
Okay. I was going to say, that would be so funny to just like come back. She gives you like a cock ring.
It was like, what is that?
A bottle of disinfectant, some rubber gloves.
Yeah, I had no idea like what was going on. That just started like a prank war.
Oh, that's great.
Like, I was like, God damn.
I did not know Target sold Astroglide.
I didn't either.
I assume KY jelly or something.
I had no clue. That was the first time I was like, what is...
Sounds like I'm going back to Target after this.
I've got things to do.
Yeah. So we got some things to talk about, Nick. A couple of things. Did you know that this week, the second official Loch Ness Monster sighting happened of 2025?
Tell me more. I'm interested.
The official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register has recorded the second official sighting of Nessie for 2025. A visitor participating in The Quest, which is the annual monster hunt, in May reported seeing something long and thin pop up in the wake of a small motorboat while observing Urquhart Bay. Urquhart? Some Scottish person's probably like, it's not fucking that, you fucking piece of shit. Urquhart Bay with binoculars. The sighting lasted 3 to 5 minutes and was reportedly caught on film. This follows the first official sighting of 2025, described as a large dark mass seen earlier in the year. So described it as long and thin and popped up in the wake of a small motorboat. I think it was probably just like a fucking stick or something.
Could have been. I was going to say black guy, but...
Nick, you idiot. There's no black guys in Scotland.
That's true. Now, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love the Loch Ness Monster. He's like the granddaddy of cryptids.
He's like the he's not Bigfoot's the granddaddy. Loch Ness is kind of like
Loch Ness was before Bigfoot.
Yeah, but which one's more well known?
Like mainstream Bigfoot. Because we have legends of like, Sasquatch and the Yeti and stuff that have been passed down through like, tribal, stories and generations and all that. But the Americanized Bigfoot that didn't really explode until like the 70s and the 60s. I feel like the Loch Ness Monster, when was that? Like the 1920s?
Is that when it got huge?
That was the hoax.
That like classic picture.
The photo from the doctor or whatever,
right.
Like, which kind of started all that. So he was, I feel like, the first mainstream like cryptid that kind of blew up and was sensationalized. I call him like the grandfather of the Loch Ness Monster. But since then, there have been so many like expeditions and hunts for him in like Loch Ness. But I feel like after it was kind of came out, they're like, oh, that was like a hoax. It kind of like died down, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like Nessie's not what it used to be.
Like when I found out that was a hoax, I was like, man, that kind of
just took the
fire.
Took the middle part of your penis out. Now you got a hollow peen.
Yeah, basically. I've been freaking nutting sugar-free candy ever since. Like,
no.
Like, it's just, yeah. It just kind of killed it for me. Oh, yeah.
That's what we're just going to try something new on the podcast a little bit. Just some little spooky news and some shadows and sightings articles.
Some
thinking of the word.
Some nice, juicy, cryptid cutlets of information.
Yeah. We got to find out. We got to come up with like a fun name for our spooky news intro.
Ooh, I like cryptid cutlets.
That's not bad. I was gonna say Cryptid News Network, but that's already CNN.
We don't want to get sued.
Don't need the brasses at CNN to come get us.
Cryptid. We could consult the almighty ChatGPT.
If we could.
Give us
That's a conversation that'll happen off air.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
And then next week you'll just know what it is.
We'll figure it out.
And we'll have like a little action news soundbite to play.
Oh, yeah. It's always so intense.
Breaking news! Just always imagine the fish from SpongeBob.
It was like perfectly sideways, and didn't they give?
Are you thinking of Chet You Betcha from Fairly?
No.
Good evening, Dimsdale. This is Chet You Betcha.
Oh well, him. I know, but wasn't there another fish in SpongeBob that actually had?
He might have.
It was in the episode with the Olympics. Lucky Lightning Larry Luciano. That guy.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about him.
No, just the actual like plastic fish that would come on screen. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Any other cryptid news stories you have there, Nick?
So I'm not sure where it landed, but a few months old now, California is looking to make Bigfoot their official state cryptid.
And if we have anybody in California Congress or legislation listening to this podcast, make it official.
It's introduced in Assembly Bill 666 on February 14th with the bill.
Assembly Bill 666.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I'm sure there's more to that bill, but the main takeaway is that in that bill, there's some written legislation where they're trying to have Bigfoot named the official state cryptid.
Now, I wonder what kind of perks Bigfoot would get for being the official state cryptid.
Maybe he can finally come out of hiding.
Maybe. Have you been watching these Bigfoot vlogs?
The ones on
like TikTok?
The AI shit? Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's the one.
They're so unhinged.
Yeah. Like the one I sent you about the dynamite.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to play a prank and we're going to put this firecracker in the...
So we might have used too much dynamite.
Like,
that was definitely the Yowie.
Yeah, the Yowie. He's like, I didn't go to plan, but it was still funny nonetheless. Yeah.
I seen one that was like Bigfoot dressed up in like coveralls, like working on a cat like backhoe or backloader or something. He's like, this is the blue collar Bigfoot. I'm going to work on this here machine. And it like cuts and 2 seconds later, he like smashed his hand or something. He's like, I don't know why. God damn it. I do this fucking job. I'm going to go back to hiding.
There was another one where it was him and the Yeti was like visiting him from the Himalayas, and they're out in California. So we raided this tent. We found these magical blue pills we're going to take.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. Yeah.
And then he's like running. He's like, so Yeti's getting kind of weird. Fucking wants my cheeks.
Oh man.
Yeah, they're great. They're unhinged. There's like a whole bunch of Star Wars ones, the 2 stormtroopers.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
AI is so dangerous, but so fun.
It's so great. I love it. In other news, like we live so close, but West Virginia, they have some festivals. Of course, like Mothman, they have a Bigfoot one, but West Virginia, the Bigfoot Festival is coming up June 26th through the 28th. The West Virginia Bigfoot Festival is one of the largest cryptid festivals in West Virginia and is organized each year by the West Virginia Bigfoot Museum. This 3-day event will have plenty of food trucks, vendors, and live music, and it's a great time to check out the Bigfoot Museum if you haven't already. This year's festival will be held at Holly Gray Park between Flatwoods and Sutton in Braxton County. And of course, if you're out there and you're in the Flatwoods area, go ahead and stop by the Flatwoods Monster Museum.
And go back and listen to our episode about the Flatwoods Monster while you're out there.
And maybe if you're lucky and you're in Braxton County, you'll also see the Grafton Monster. So,
oh yeah, and I think we touched on that one too, didn't we? In that same episode, maybe? I feel like we touched on the Braxton Monster, the Grafton Monster.
The Grafton Monster.
I feel like we did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking 35 something episodes in now.
It's we're already forgetting stuff.
Yeah,
we should go to one of these festivals at some point. I know there was a place in Lancaster called Decades that just had a big cryptids event, or it might be coming up. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Maybe.
It's like a really big like arcade.
I'd love to go to the Mothman Festival, but probably not this year.
I can see why not this year.
Because, little hobgoblins showing up.
Your own little cryptids coming out soon.
Little cryptids showing up.
Oh, happy Father's Day, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And happy Friday the 13th. We just celebrated Friday the 13th as well. If you're listening to this episode the day that it drops, it was last week. Did you celebrate any Friday the 13th things?
I poured one out for the Templars that aren't here.
For the Templars?
Yeah.
Is that a Templar thing?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's where
I thought it went back way further than Templars. I always thought that Friday the 13th was like Frigg's Day in Norse mythology.
You're probably right, but in terms of the Templars, though, that's a date that's iconic with the Templars because that was when the French king pretty much like sends out like he basically like Order 66 their asses.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, it was like a Friday the 13th rolled around and they were like, okay, I want you to go out in France and go after every single Templar stronghold. We got to like blitzkrieg them and catch them off guard. Because they were getting too powerful and he didn't like that. So okay. He was like, all right, let's take him out. And that was like the date that he picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So for my Templar brothers who couldn't make it.
I mean, I'm on the Assassin's side, but.
I mean, okay, well, if it's Assassin's Creed, then I take back my
You pour it back in.
I pour it back in. It has found its way back into the bottle.
Yeah. I just watched the Friday the 13th, 2009 remake movie. Hot take, that might be my favorite one.
I like the one you showed me.
That could have been any of them.
It was the really campy, the masks.
No, that's Halloween.
Oh, you said Friday the 13th. I'm thinking Michael. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. As far as spooky movies.
The best, okay, like if we're going to go Jason as the most campy ones, have you ever seen Jason X where he goes to space?
That's the only one I've seen.
Oh, man. Thank God, because that movie slaps ass. That one's awesome.
That was pretty funny. That's pretty ridiculous.
I would say if you're looking for just a classic Jason movie, you can't go wrong with like the final chapter, which is part 4. That one's really good. It's also the one where he quote unquote dies.
Okay.
Then Jason Lives is probably like my other favorite one where he comes back from the dead, which is part 6. So there's one in between 4 and 5 or 4 and 6, which is 5 where another copycat killer comes along and pretends to be Jason, but it just turns out to be some fat kid's dad who dies in the very beginning of the movie. It's so fucking bizarre. I don't know what it is with horror franchises in number 5, but they fucking suck. I don't get it. Halloween 5 sucks ass. Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't remember which one 5 was, but probably sucked ass. Friday the 13th part 5 sucked ass.
Why'd you have to roast that kid like that? Some fat kid's dad. You could have just said some random guy.
I don't think they ever tell you his name, but he's like, they all get to the camp or whatever, and you have this big jock dude splitting a piece of wood, and the wood, instead of it being turned up where you split it down the middle, it's on its side, so he's just swinging an axe at this piece of wood over and over again and not doing anything to the piece of wood.
That sounds like jock.
This kid walks out, he's probably like 300 pounds. He's got like the Seth Rogen afro, or imagine Jonah Hill before Jonah Hill lost all his weight.
Sure.
Kind of looks like him. Okay. Literally candy bars in every pocket, covered in chocolate, hands, face, offers this jock like a candy bar, puts it on the thing, and the jock like puts the axe down into the candy bar. He's like, I don't want your fucking candy bar, go away, or something. He's like, geez, I was just trying to be nice. And he turns around and the jock like loses his mind for some reason, just puts the axe in the back of the kid's head.
Oh my God.
It's like, okay, that just happened. Now what? So then, yeah, the rest of the movie, the paramedics show up and the guy that like unzips the body bag, it's his dad. It's ridiculous. Anyways, and then 2009 movie is really good. It got like back to basics, just in a good old fashioned camp murder spree.
Sure.
But Jason Goes to Space is so fucking good.
That was
Jason
X.
X.
That was pretty ridiculous.
And Freddy vs. Jason, of course. But
I remember when that came out.
Oh man, I was so hyped.
I remember when that came out.
All right. Anyways. Got our spooky news out of the way. We got our Friday the 13th stuff out of the way. Father's Day stuff out of the way. Let's talk about Shepherdstown and the ghosts that may or may not inhabit it. Now, you go to Shepherdstown pretty frequently. Have you ever felt or experienced anything at all?
Not once. That's why I was so surprised when you were like, oh, do you know Shepherdstown is considered like one of the most haunted towns in like the United States? And I was like, that's Shepherdstown? Like,
the one right there?
That one? Like the one we go to? Yeah. Like, what? From where? What? How? But I'm not surprised because, I mean, it is like, 3 miles away from Antietam? Mm-hmm. You know,
something like that.
The bloodiest battle, you know, in American Civil War. And like, you know, Sharpsburg is right there. You have Gettysburg isn't too far from, you know, kind of going the opposite way. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm not surprised. Like if you pull the veil of the magnificent magic that is Shepherdstown Okay, sure. Like, it is the oldest town in West Virginia.
Yeah. Which I'm a little confused by that.
Why?
To be perfectly, because like West Virginia didn't become a state until 1860, like 1 or 2. It was post Civil War starting. Like they became their own state like in the middle of the Civil War, I think. So is it the oldest town technically from Virginia, or is
well, it could have been that. So yeah, if Virginia was,
because Virginia had, I'm sure, much older towns than Charlestown. Shepherdstown.
That's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what the history is.
It's just weird that they make that claim, but it's like what?
Well, they had like could have been one of those situations where you had like recognized like villages and stuff. Maybe they were kind of like commonwealths. I don't know what's like the step below a town before it's like recognized as a town, like a village. I don't know. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's the oldest town in West Virginia.
Yeah, it was established on December 23rd, 1762 by consecutive acts passed by the Virginia House of Burgesses and approved by the governor. Mecklenburg and Romney in Hampshire County are the oldest towns in West Virginia. So Mecklenburg was Shepherdstown before they renamed it. And I think they renamed it in like 1960s.
I had read that it was founded in 1734, so like 30 years prior, 1762.
The colony of Virginia began issuing valley land grants in the 1730s. So Thomas Shepherd was granted 222 acres south of the Potomac along the Falling Spring branch, now known as the Town Run. From that, he selected 50 acres and laid out a town, naming his town Mecklenburg. He petitioned the assembly for a charter, which was granted in 1762. So he probably had the land granted to him, and it was technically a town, but not recognized by the government. So that checks out.
That works.
Yeah. So you can date it back to like 1730s.
What the fuck is a Mecklenburg?
Mecklenburg was the name of the town before they renamed it to Shepherdstown.
No, I get that. I understand. But
why did they name it Mecklenburg?
What the fuck is a Mecklenburg?
A burg in which Mecklins sourced their materials.
You ever like, it's just like some of these names, you're like, oh, it's just fucking, Hyattsville. What is that? Like,
probably a guy with the last name of Hyatt.
Yeah, maybe. Like,
that's usually how it happens.
Yeah.
I always looked. There was something about like a burg and a town and how they're differentiated. It was like a population issue or something, because you have like Smithsburg, but Hagerstown.
Okay, well, riddle me this one. Out in the middle of Mennonite country, you have Intercourse, PA. How'd they get that name?
Because Mennonites be fucking, dude.
Maybe.
The Amish be fucking too. I don't know if it's Amish or Mennonite, but they be fucking. Look, they got like 30 kids, all of them.
That checks out. We were gonna go visit Lancaster. We were looking to go check out Lancaster because why the fuck not? And like 30 minutes from Lancaster, there's a town called Intercourse, PA. Brady and I have this.
And you can get a sticker or a sign that says "I Heart Intercourse." And it's a map of Pennsylvania with the location of the town on it. There's
like other towns around that I think the names were kind of like sexually repressed. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm sure it's just complete random by chance, but I was looking at some of the names. I was like, what are these names? Intercourse. And like, so, okay, he finds Mecklenburg, and essentially that's what we know as Shepherdstown today. But no, I would have had no idea that it was haunted until you. Like, how did you first hear about like how like it was the most haunted place?
Literally from that TV show Ghosts of Shepherdstown. And I only found out about that show because when I signed up for, I think it was either Discovery Plus, it was on there. And I was like, what the fuck is this? A show about Shepherdstown? I was like, and I thought the same. I was like, our Shepherdstown?
Yeah.
And so I like started watching it, and yeah, it was Shepherdstown, West Virginia.
It's a fucking long
I was like, holy
time.
shit, okay. This was like a couple years ago that I watched it, because then I think it had to have been before they switched to Max or something. Because like Discovery Plus had like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation and all these other ghost hunting shows that I was super into. And I still am, but since they don't make any new episodes, it's hard to be like, I'm still super excited for this. But
interesting that you say that, because the only ghost show that I'm familiar with, who's the guy with the glasses?
Zach Bagans?
Yeah,
from Ghost Adventures?
Yeah, that's like the only one. And there's a YouTube video of one of the cast members from Ghost of Shepherdstown, not Nick, not the chick, but the other guy with the beard in Ghost of Shepherdstown, not
Bill?
Nick, not the chick.
It's a Bill Headley or something like that. I think his name's Bill.
See, there's a YouTube video that he posted a couple of years ago, pretty much explaining like the downfall of that show. And he kept saying in there, like, it's like there's a certain douchebag wearing glasses on that network that, for whatever reason, had beef with us and made one phone call and pretty much like took our show off the air.
Yeah. Have you ever watched that show?
Which one?
Ghost of Shepherdstown.
No.
It is fucking insane. It is so. I mean, I try to give the benefit of the doubt to some of these ghost hunting shows. Sure. Like Ghost Adventures, I don't watch because I think it's just so over the top and so staged. And this is very much in that vein. Like the only ones I really watch will be Ghost Hunters because I feel like Jason, Grant,
I felt like that was legit.
Steve, those guys.
I felt like that was like they were really trying to investigate.
Right, they were really trying to use their own theories and new technology to try to catch something.
And they would question a lot of shit. Too.
Yeah, and then they would debunk most of it.
Yeah,
like that's what made it kind of a more realistic show to me. And then you got like people like Zach Bagans going into some haunted tunnel, and he starts going crazy and. I'm not going in there. Send who's the fuck was the guy they always send it? He would go in and be like, "Hey, ghosts, it's me, your boy."
Didn't he have like a respirator on a couple episodes?
Yeah, he would always wear a mask.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. Anyways, Shepherdstown basically being so old, a lot of people speculate that's why there's so many hauntings there. I mean, the town is founded in the 1730s, 1760s possibly, so you got Revolutionary War history already, the revolution's already starting to amp up a little bit. George Washington apparently musters.
I didn't even think about that. Yes. Yeah, so, oh shit. Yeah. It was there before like the revolution, before like the United States was a thing. Formed.
But you know what? What's even crazier to me is when you think about it, the Salem witch trials are 1692. That's like almost 100 years before this town is even officially recognized as a town. And it's somehow the oldest town in West Virginia.
Well, I mean, yeah, if it wasn't like one of the original.
You want to know a weirder fact? I think that it's still true. If you would look at from the end of the Salem witch trials in 1692 to when the Civil War starts, more time has passed between those two events than when the Civil War ended to our time now.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because
does it though? Like it sounds impossible to me that the Salem witch trials and the Civil War could be further away from each other than the Civil War to us right now.
Well, yeah, when was the Civil War? That was 1861. To when though?
1865.
1965. So yeah, I mean that's not crazy.
I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
though. Like,
it's like one of those things where these two things happened, or like
kind of like how Abraham Lincoln looks like what root beer tastes like. You can't explain it, but it fucking makes sense, bro. I look at a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and I'm like, that man looks like what fucking root beer tastes like, and I can't explain it, but god damn it makes fucking sense.
I mean,
tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
like I look at a good old Abe Lincoln, and I imagine those root beer candies that we would get when we were kids, like from like the root beer barrels, root beer barrels. That's like it's fucking Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, fucking Abe Lincoln. That's what Mary Todd Lincoln had to suck down every single night.
Yeah, it's just like yeah.
Anyways, God, fuck you and your Abraham Lincoln analogy. So in 1775, General Washington issued a call for Virginia volunteer riflemen. Captain Hugh Stevenson filled the ranks of his company in Shepherdstown. So the troops departed from Morgan Spring, about a half a mile south of the town limits, on July 16, 1775. They beeline marched to Cambridge. They covered 600 miles in 24 days. So there are 38 Revolutionary veterans who are buried in the surrounding area. So there's maybe a little potential there. Some of those guys might have marched off. I mean, Jesus Christ, 600 miles in 24 days. That is insane. That is a massive amount of time or travel.
In the span of, 3 weeks?
24 days, not even a month.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, so 7.
So I'm sure a lot of these guys were just salt of the earth people, spent a lot of time farming and gardening and building stuff, and then all of a sudden they're shipped off to fight in the war, and probably some of them never come back. Well, 38 of them probably didn't come back.
Yeah, there's given that amount of history, that amount of time that's kind of passed, you're bound to see all sorts of like historical trauma.
Right.
I mean, literally, like Shepherdstown is 3 miles away from Antietam, like the bloodiest battle in American history. Mm-hmm. It's less than a 45-minute, maybe to an hour drive from Gettysburg, which was like one of the most intense battles of the Civil War. And the town itself too also had some like trauma, traumatic events that had happened. There was a fire in 1912 where a major fire destroyed much of downtown Shepherdstown. After the fire, rebuilding disturbed grave sites and foundries. So that was the thing. So the whole disturbing grave sites and
right.
Don't mess with the dead, but
right.
But we kind of have to because
we got to restore it.
You have to make things right again. I don't know. Would you be pissed if like your grave died? Like, what if you had this like wooden pine coffin? And a good fire happens, and then
you're cremated.
Well, I guess you're cremated, but then they like restore your bones, your body, and they give you this like sweet vintage Cadillac as like a casket or some shit. Like they go all out, like the Cadillac of caskets. I don't know.
Okay, not an actual Cadillac.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or that. I mean, that'd be cool. Like that's how I'd want to be buried. Like
just lower a Cadillac 6 feet down.
Like maybe that wasn't a good.
People in the future just do. What the hell is a Cadillac doing down here?
It's fucking weird. Yeah, people were wild back then. Maybe that was like not like the greatest example, but you know what I mean. They give you like
Okay, so the ask is, would I be pissed if they destroyed my grave? I was gonna say if they destroyed my grave intentionally, yes, I would be pissed.
Sure.
If a a fire broke out and destroyed my grave unintentionally, but the people did everything they could to restore my grave, no, I would not be pissed.
But they like hook you up with like
I don't care what they would do. I would just be like, nobody cares what's under the grave. It's about the headstone, right? If like you just restore the headstone, I feel like I'd be okay. Like, hey, this person's still here. Like, I don't need to be reburied in a fancy new casket.
I suppose that's fine.
It's like, hey, just keep the headstone. That's all I care about.
I guess that's fine.
Sorry to my argument. Just derail your train of thought, Nick. Did I make too much sense?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just like, if you have an opportunity to give me a new casket, I'm just saying, nice black obsidian.
So what you're saying is, when we bury you, if you're in a pine box, eventually you want us to dig you up, put you in a black obsidian stone casket, and rebury you.
Gold trim.
Okay.
Wakanda on the front.
All right. That'll be dated. That'll be a dated reference.
Yeah, like Captain America on the front. I don't know.
That might stand a little more.
Unintentionally.
What if we just put you in just put your body standing upright in like a pose of your choosing and pour concrete over you, and then you would make like essentially a mold where you'd just be encased in concrete, kind of like Han Solo in Carbonite. How would you feel about that?
That'd be cool. I like it. It's different, but I'd rather be shot into space. Here's why. 1,000 years from now, my floating body is just frozen in, floating along. Who's to say that an ancient civilization doesn't find me, resuscitates me, brings me back to life with their advanced alien technology?
That begs the question, though, how long can you be dead before it's impossible to revive you?
Well, it doesn't matter, because these are super advanced ancient aliens that transcend space and time.
Wouldn't it be easier to freeze you first and then launch you into space?
Well, yeah.
While you're still alive?
No, I'm saying, yeah, you would, instead of like burying me or cremating me, freeze me and like Han Solo and just launch me into space. Just launch you.
Okay, we can do that.
Like
that seems a lot more viable than putting you in a fucking black stone gold trimmed casket.
Yeah, that shit's expensive.
Yeah, I'm not paying for it. I'm not paying for your space flight either.
I think it'll work though. And then, so they revive me, but because they're so advanced, they've probably already mastered time travel. I go back in time and I thank you with the knowledge from the future. It's a never ending. I've already thought this out.
I was going to say, you put a lot of thought into this.
Shit keeps me up at night.
It's the sleep paralysis. All right. So anyways, fast forwarding from the Revolutionary War up to, like you were mentioning, the Battle of Antietam. So Antietam, like you said, is only about 2-3 miles away from Shepherdstown.
Give or take, yeah.
I'm sure some of you would probably know, but if you don't know, Shepherdstown was technically a part of Virginia or West Virginia at the time of the war. So Robert E. Lee would have came through Shepherdstown and crossed the Potomac River somewhere in that area. In Gettysburg, you were mentioning Gettysburg as a battle, but more or less they kind of went up to Williamsport for that crossing. They didn't go back through Shepherdstown. Because if you ever been to Shepherdstown, the banks are super steep.
Yeah.
So trying to get across that was, as you can imagine, pretty difficult, which is why that was his access point. Like he had built like bridges and stuff to get the army across faster if they needed to retreat. So he was already prepared just in case, which is why Robert E. Lee was one of the greatest generals of all time. He always had an escape plan. So when the Battle of Antietam happens, like you were saying, it's the bloodiest single day in American history. 22,717 casualties, which were killed, wounded, or missing. So with a battle this scale, with that much loss and tragedy, Sharpsburg, if any of our listeners have been through Sharpsburg, you know that that's a blink and you'll miss it kind of town. Shepherdstown's right across the river. It's basically just one giant field hospital. So we kind of got into, back when we did our Ghost of Frederick episode, we kind of talked about how a lot of these cities would just get overrun with wounded soldiers and wounded men. So Robert E. Lee retreats back across through Shepherdstown, and there actually is a battle of Shepherdstown.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh, I want the deets on that.
Well, I'll tell you the deets, sir. It took place on September 19th and the 20th of 1862, so just a couple days after the Battle of Antietam, which happened on September 17th.
Sure.
Lee left a rear guard commanded by Brigadier General William N. Pendleton at Boteler's Ford. On September 19th, elements of the Union 5th Corps dueled with Pendleton's artillery before pushing a short distance across the river at dusk. Pendleton inaccurately informed Lee that all the artillery on the rear guard had been captured. On the morning of September 20th, the Confederates counterattacked with A.P. Hill's Light Division, forcing the Union units back across the Potomac. One Union unit, the 118th Pennsylvania Infantry Regiment, did not withdraw at the same time as the others and suffered heavy losses. Lee's army continued its retreat into the Shenandoah Valley after the battle. So not only do you have the Battle of Antietam, which brings a whole lot of death and destruction over to Shepherdstown, you have another battle in the streets of Shepherdstown as the Confederate is kind of trying to counterattack a Union attack to destroy their army as they're retreating. So more death, more loss, more destruction. So why it could be one of the most haunted towns in America, I feel like that kind of gives you a pretty good idea of.
Not surprised. That makes sense, though. There's a bakery in Shepherdstown that supposedly they have a ghost there called the Colonel.
Yes.
And that could be, that instance where he's checking on his soldiers.
Well, I might be mistaken, but the Colonel, I thought he was supposedly a surgeon, a Civil War surgeon.
Was it? I just know it was like some sort of military, like a ghost. And the reportings of him are, he's kind of like a patron at the bakery. Supposedly, you could be walking by and you just like feel like a brush or a gust of wind kind of brush up against you. People have reported hearing like whispering, like, earth reel chattering in like the background. Just enough so you can hear it and kind of make it out that it's whispering, but you really can't like pinpoint where it's coming from. There's some people on Reddit talking about that Ghost of Shepherdstown show. Like the one person's like, I'm a student at Shepherd. and like this show's freaking hilarious. Like, I guess they kind of thought I was like ridiculous or something. But there's like an episode where a lady hears a gunshot and she runs into the library. But Shepherdstown is so small, like the police station's right there. So he's like, why didn't she run into the police station?
That show is really ridiculous.
I've never seen it. So is it just like over the top? Like, okay.
It's very like Ghost Adventures-esque because those two are closely associated with each other, Nick and Zach. So it's just very over the top. And I don't want to, in case anybody that was on that show listens to this podcast, I don't want to outright say that they were staging things, but that seems to be what was happening.
That was some of the drama that I saw, that there was like some allegation made or whatever that they hired like an actor and some of it was staged. And I think Nick had posted like a Facebook post or something about, kind of like putting a disclaimer out there, something to that effect. I didn't get all the details. I really can't speak to it too much because I haven't seen the show. But yeah, it seems like there was a lot of people started like kind of question the validity, which like that to me, it's not. It's a show. It's like
it's there for entertainment value.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's if you're watching a ghost hunting show, there's basically two ways you can go into watching a ghost hunting show, which is one, you don't believe any of it and you're only watching it for the comedy, which is one valid way to watch it, and two, you're just along for the ride and you're willing to believe what they tell you.
Sure.
So it's basically what side of the fence you're standing on, but I feel like those are the two ways you watch a ghost hunting show. Like, you're there to be entertained, so if you're going to be entertained, you can either be entertained by how horrendously bad it is and how funny it can be, or you're entertained by what they find and how they're telling it to you in a story. So I was watching a YouTube video earlier today, and if you go to Shepherdstown, you can actually take like a haunted ghost tour or a walking tour, whatever you want to call it. It's called Mysteries of Shepherdstown, I believe, the walking tour, but they must have posted a small snippet of it on YouTube. Or this person that was recording it was doing so without the permission of the person giving the tour. I don't know. She seemed to be looking at the camera multiple times and not saying anything. But apparently on the main street, right across the street from the Trinity Church, you know where I'm talking about a little bit? It's the big, I think it's right up the street from the Lost Dog. Like if you walk up the hill, the church is on the left. There's like a corner or an intersection there. Anyways, so apparently there was offices next to where this church was. It was like the church directory or the offices for the church.
Sure.
And at some point she was saying that the story goes that a clergyman was working in there and hanged himself in this building. So now people will walk by and hear, footsteps or see shadow figures walking around in the upstairs room. There's also apparently a circus elephant that was buried in the yard of the church. Like it died. I don't know why there was an elephant in town. I'd really have to look that up, I guess. But apparently there was an elephant in town, and on this particular street corner, she was even saying, she's like, a lot of weird death has happened on this street corner. She's like, right there, a circus elephant died, and they buried it, and it's still there to this day, like under the grounds of the church yard.
Okay.
So there's an elephant there somewhere.
I would have never known that. I've been going to Shepherdstown for almost 15 years, 20 years. I would have never fucking known that.
Yeah. There was also another girl in the church. I don't remember if she was also part of the clergy or if she was just a bookkeeper or something like that. Allegedly hung herself from one of the trees going down that street as well. It's pretty wild stuff. I honestly never would have expected that little town to be so full of tragedy and so much death.
So then we also have the Entler Hotel, which is now a museum. One of the town's most famously haunted spots. Reports include a ghostly man in a top hat walking the halls, unexplained cold spots, and whispering voices. Shadowy figures seen in the upper floors in the courtyard. Some believe it's the spirit of a Civil War officer and even an innkeeper who never checked out.
Ooh.
That would be a nasty bill.
Yeah, so you've been staying in this room for
ever.
carry the one 236 years. And we're gonna do this. Was 15 cents a night.
Adjust for inflation, which is now
$913 a night. Your bill's $3,614,000.
Will that be cash, credit, or check? Shepherd University, for those of you who...
I was going to say, go back to the Entler Hotel real quick. Is that the part or the site where like there was a gambler who got shot and murdered?
I'm not sure. I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure if that was that hotel or if it was the Bavarian.
Okay, it might have been the Bavarian.
The Bavarian, and yeah. Which I read about that. So, okay, let me get this straight. This guy gambles and... Didn't he like place the bets himself? Like he knew what he was getting into.
Oh, I'm sure. That's when you're a gambler. That's what you do.
I suppose. But like there was something about when I read the story, I was like, well, wait a minute. This guy, he's kind of being like a little bitch about it. Like you kind of.
Yeah, he like lost all of his money, wasn't going to pay it, so they shot and murdered him. But in his dying moments, he was like crying out for his mother, I guess.
I think it was two separate. So there were two instances.
Okay.
I think. That was the one, the crying out for the mom. I empathize with that guy.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he was a victim of his own fate.
Okay.
I think that he was kind of like, there was some wrongdoing to that guy. The other guy that was like, I feel like kind of rolled up and was like, I'm about to fucking own all y'all bitches. I'm betting it all. Y'all are going to pay me this fucking money. And he loses it and he like whines and just, guess it, you know. Like,
so he killed himself.
Or whatever it was.
Okay.
Like, something like that. There's a couple different things that I saw. I couldn't really get like a straight story on it. But for those of you who have never been to Shepherdstown, one of the iconic things about Shepherdstown is Shepherd University, which is pretty much like smack middle in the town right there. And the campus is kind of, spread throughout the town. McMurrin Hall is once the original building of the university, and formerly the town hall is said to be haunted by a former professor and Civil War spirits. Whitehall, students have reported hearing footsteps and empty corridors and the doors opening by themselves. Okay, so you watched the show, right? Or we're good.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I was just kind of looking it up real quick to get back to this gambler in the Antler Hotel. I'm reading an article on Only in Your State about how Shepherdstown is one of the most haunted towns. It says it's always a good idea to visit the local museum when you play tourist in another town, and this particular building has a very interesting history. Many believe there are at least two spirits that roam the halls. One is the spirit of a once wealthy businessman who lost his fortune in a card game when the building was a gambling hub in the 1800s. After the hand was dealt and he realized his outcome, he went into the backyard and shot himself.
Oh, okay, so he did, yeah, okay.
Years later, a young man named Peyton Smith was brought to the hotel after being wounded in a duel and sadly passed away from his injuries. There have been reports of hearing faint gunshots and the disembodied sounds of a man in pain crying out for his mother. Many believe that these screams are Peyton Smith, who was said to have been crying out for his mother after he was shot, but his mother didn't make it to the hotel before he died.
That makes me sad.
So there we go. And you were just talking about the McMurrin Hall, correct?
Yeah.
Used as a hospital, might explain why many reports of hearing disembodied voices, footsteps, and screams late into the night. There are also many people that think the clock tower has its own paranormal entity, and if you're strolling the grounds late at night, you might just see a shadowy figure peering back at you from the clock tower, perhaps the spirit of a soldier still on duty watching for the enemy. This is what I've been talking. This is it. I knew I seen it somewhere. This is going back to the Colonel and the sweet shop. I don't know if this bakery is still there, but I think it is.
There is a bakery there. I don't know if it's called the Shepherdstown Bakery or if it's changed.
Shepherdstown Sweet Shop and Bakery.
That might be the one. Yeah.
You might just get a little supernatural experience with your sweet treat at this charming pastry shop in Shepherdstown. Nicknamed the Colonel, this particular spirit has a history of brushing up against patrons and employees, and often disembodied chattering is heard, almost like a few different people are speaking. The building was used as a hospital during the Battle of Antietam, so the sounds might be the Colonel checking on his men. So you were right. I thought there was one where they've speculated it might be a surgeon, but maybe that was in the show. I know in the show they found a quote-unquote found a antiquated or antique saw, and they were like, oh, this must have been used to cut off limbs in the Civil War. It's like,
it's actually a bread knife, but
well, it's like, and that raises the question of, so nobody's been in this basement for 165 years, or you just didn't know what it was, you just left it down there. Yeah. It's just, if a saw that was used in the Civil War and had actually cut off limbs of somebody was found, that would be in the Civil War Museum, probably right down the street in Shepherdstown. Like, that would not be an artifact they would just let to sit in a dusty basement somewhere.
Sure.
So that's why when I say it's like
things
stage,
like, I get you. Yeah, things like that. Other notable haunted spots in Shepherdstown, we have German Street, and it's lined with like colonial era buildings. So they've been around long enough where they've seen the Revolutionary War, the Civil War.
Yep.
So typical things that people have reported are, voices in closed rooms, disembodied footsteps, and vanishing figures, and old-fashioned clothing.
I have a website here called supicket.com, and it has a brief history of like accounts of ghostly encounters from the Shepherd University.
Yeah.
One such person who had a supernatural story to share, and this one I thought was really, really funny, so just bear with me here, was Shelby Daughtery. I assume that's how you spell her last name, or say her last name. If not, Shelby, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. Tell me how to say your name. A master's student attending Shepherd University, she recalled walking home with a friend on High Street during her senior year. It was on that September night when she had seen a figure riding a bicycle. As Daughtery watched the figure, she saw something that left her shocked. I noticed that it just got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it just stopped, and I didn't see it anymore after that. She reported not having seen the cyclist again after its mysterious shrinking and disappearance. Also known as somebody riding a bike down a hill.
It was 1 second he was there, as big as he can be, and as he got down the bottom of the hill, kept shrinking and shrinking until they just evaporated into oblivion.
So you're a master student here, and you don't understand depth perception?
It's like, I think he was dead. I think he was just riding away. No.
Explain why he was wearing a hat. People wear hats.
Because it's 2025 and people wear hats.
Go ahead. You were talking about German Street.
Other hauntings in Shepherdstown. There's the haunted woods and surroundings. So the Shepherdstown, like in the area, it's depending on which way you come from. There's a bridge that you can cross, and it's kind of like wooded areas. It's right there on the river, so it's kind of the natural surroundings. The woods around Shepherdstown, especially near the Potomac River, are rumored to be home to shadowy figures, glowing orbs, and phantom camp. The woods around Shepherdstown, especially near the Potomac River, are rumored to be home to shadowy figures, glowing orbs, and phantom campfires. Hikers have reported hearing muffled gunshots and screams with no one else around.
Oh, wow.
I'm a little skeptical about that one because it is West Virginia. It is on the Potomac River right there.
People do hike and camp, like around the C&O Canal.
The C&O Canal is right there, and
I'm sure there's a shooting range or something around there somewhere.
I thought it's probably people in their backyard shooting their guns.
True.
So, it's West Virginia.
It's West Virginia. It's wild and wonderful.
Yeah.
Another one I have here from the college. Another witness to the paranormal was graduate student Michaela Barnes. She recalled the events taking place in room 111 of the Prince Apartments of Shepherd University, which was where she lived during her sophomore year. The 3-room apartment was described as having an odd energy in the air that she claimed to always be present. One night, we would hear knocks on the wall in threes, Barnes stated, but our roommates who lived in the middle room wouldn't be there. To this day, she could find no earthly explanation for the knocking.
So, I guess if you do enough digging, you can find a crap ton of instances.
Oh, for sure.
That it's haunted. But I don't know, because I went on Reddit and I was just kind of curious. And there's a lot of people on there saying that, like, I've lived in Shepherdstown my entire life. I've never once experienced anything.
But I've talked to people like my friend Chad, who is a bartender in Shepherdstown. He said that he's had things happen to him.
Really?
And then, of course, if you go back and listen to our Johnny K episode, Johnny K is very much a believer that Shepherdstown is haunted. Really? AF. So he says that he has things happen to him all the time there, too. So
this just makes me want to go back. I want to go back in the fall.
During Halloween, we should go on the Shepherdstown Mystery Walk and find out more about that circus elephant. Yeah. Just a quick little side note. It's believed that Shepherdstown took in about 8,000 wounded soldiers after the Battle of Antietam. Yeah, so imagine tiny little one-street Shepherdstown taking in 8,000 people.
And it was probably even smaller back then, too.
Could have been. There's an old saying that Shepherdstown was once a big field hospital and the streets were run with blood. Side note about the show Ghosts of Shepherdstown. It was noted that in 2016 and 2017, when the show was airing, not only did their work ease the minds of some of the distressed residents, but it also boosted the town's tourism by nearly 311%.
Which, okay, makes me even question that even more. So the town has, 5, at the time when they filmed the show, it was like 5 police officers, and they got the police officer, the chief of police.
Alleged chief of police. Yeah, I don't know if he's an actor or the actual guy.
Yeah, like roped in, this crew to kind of help investigate this stuff. So, like I said, like I've been going there for years, and I never once heard this until you pointed out that show, and then I did more digging into it, and it's like, okay, how much of this was like legitimate versus like kind of staged or whatever,
right?
For the sake of like tourism and all that. Which I'm not upset if they did that. I completely get it. It's
right.
There's anything wrong with it. Kind of creating like a mystique or
I mean, if you put the call out there, being like, "Hey, we're interested in doing a new kind of ghost adventure spinoff series. Write to us and tell us why your town should be investigated." And I'm sure Shepherdstown Police Department or whoever like, "Oh, this is be a good idea we got plenty of history here. They'll bite on this. So it's possible that something like that went down.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or legitimately, the whole premise of the show was that the police were getting so many calls for people invading their houses that they would show up and there would be nobody there. And basically, they just called in a team of paranormal investigators, and they ended up with one of the guys from Ghost Adventures. So I don't know. Like I said, it's up in the air with ghost hunting shows, with how much of it is staged, what you want to believe. But I'm in the camp that Ghosts of Shepherdstown was a little more. It was like 90% staged.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like both are viable options. There's enough history there where I could heavily entertain it.
Oh yeah,
that it could be a haunted town.
It's like Gettysburg Light.
Yeah, where it could be like a haunted town. But then there's also, it's such a small town. I could see okay, let's bring some tourism, let's bring some publicity to the area. Yeah. So
I'm sure tourism's not really booming. I mean, you go to Sharpsburg and unless you're a Civil War history buff, you're not going to Sharpsburg for almost anything. There's nothing there. You got Nutter's ice cream, and that's about it.
Nutter's is pretty much it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm certain that Shepherdstown's not exactly a hub of natural, organic tourism. So, no better way to get people interested in your city than claiming it as a ghost mecca. But it very well could be. We just got to go back and find out for ourselves. Shout out to Shepherdstown, though. All ghosts and stuff aside, that town is so cool.
I love Shepherdstown. Yeah. The record shop is there.
The vibes are good.
It's just a chill town.
Yeah.
You go there, it's just nice.
You're right on the Potomac, so you can go down to the C&O or just go down by the river and just hang out, or you can go grab a beer. I mean, Harper's Ferry is also only 15 minutes away.
Oh yeah, go to Harper's Ferry Brewing Company. Yeah. Harper's Ferry Brewing Company up there. Oh.
Closing thoughts on Shepherdstown, Nick, on the hauntings or the town or anything like that.
If it's haunted, I haven't experienced it. That's not to discredit anybody that says that has experienced something. I'm just saying that it has not happened to me personally yet.
Right.
I'm completely open to the idea of it being haunted. I'd love for it to be haunted because it'd be pretty cool.
Right.
But yeah, no, other than that, Shepherdstown will always be that's my little favorite town. It's
it's your Gettysburg.
It really is. I fucking love Shepherdstown. It's just it's chill vibes. All the little hippie shops there, you go in there, and it's great. The people are super chill and nice. Yeah, can't get enough of it.
I like it. I'm gonna try to follow up with my friends who claim that it's haunted. See if they have any concrete stories to tell me.
Yeah,
and I'll bring it to the next episode if they get back to me. But other than that, man,
your thoughts?
My thoughts are definitely that if a town is going to be haunted, I think Shepherdstown has all the criteria for it being a haunted town. Old as fuck, plenty of death, tragedy, destruction between the Civil War. You mentioned a fire, and then there's also the theory of running water and stuff like that. If you consider Potomac to be close enough to cultivate energy, I can see that only helping and boosting the haunting possibility. So yeah, I think the college is old as fuck too, and it's just I'm sure there's plenty of buildings that were used as a Civil War hospital in the college, and with people actively living in the college, I'm sure it's bound to stir up some energy if it's there.
Sure.
So I think it's haunted. I'm gonna put my foot down. Shepherdstown is haunted AF, man. Whether the show is believable or not. Go find out for yourself.
I agree with you. It meets all the check boxes.
Yeah.
It checks all the boxes, for being a haunted location. So if it is, I would not be the least bit surprised.
Yeah, we'll have to go check out. It's called Shepherdstown Mystery Walks. So go check out one of those, and I feel like we could probably do a part 2 with a better understanding of all of the stuff that happened in Shepherdstown, and come back for another episode.
That. Maybe this fall, maybe doing a spooky ghost tour on Halloween.
Yeah.
Let's talk spooky Shepherdstown, folks.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for this episode of Shadows and Sightings. As always, you can follow us on Instagram, Shadows and Sightings Pod, Facebook, Shadows and Sightings, a paranormal podcast, or send us an email, shadowsandsightings@gmail.com. Always looking for new spooky things to talk about. Send us your emails, drop us a comment. comment on, if you're listening to this on whatever platform you are, just comment on the episode and I feel like we maybe are going to start looking into getting some new merch. Of course, as Nick mentioned in another part of the show, he's going to be a dad twice over coming up soon. So if the episodes start to become a little less consistent,
it shouldn't be.
That would be why.
It shouldn't be too bad. If anything, there might be a little gap for 2 or 3 weeks, but it's nothing. Yeah, nothing crazy.
So we're gonna do our best, but just keep that in the back of your mind if you see us drop off the face of the planet for a little bit.
We're still here. We're still dedicated to making the episodes because we're having fun doing it.
We are.
I look forward to this every single.
Yeah.
It's kind of like therapy.
It's always great, man.
It's like therapy for me at this point.
Yeah, I just love sitting down and talking about spooky shit. No matter what time of year it is. If it feels like fall outside, even better, but I'm ready for summer to get underway.
I'm great. I'm happy for summer, but I'm really pumped for once we start dropping some fall episodes again.
So anyways, thanks for listening to this episode of Shadows and Sightings. We'll see you all next time when we talk about all things spooky.